Hey everybody, how's it going? Mike from the Focus Garage coming at you in today's video, and if you can't already tell, we are finally inside my Ford Maverick. Yes, the truck finally came in after 7 months or so of waiting. I've got it and I'm driving it, and I'm going to be doing its own little series of videos on modifications I plan to do to it and just kind of what it looks like now and everything like that, and ownership experience. But the purpose of this vehicle is I want to talk about my purchasing experience and the dealer experience. And let me tell you, it was one of the worst buying experiences of my entire life. Now, I have owned 30 plus vehicles, and a lot of those cars I have bought from dealerships. So I'm very familiar with the dealership process and buying and selling cars and all of that. But let me preface this whole experience with the fact that I had ordered this vehicle through a dealer that was local to me. And one of the biggest reasons I ordered with them is because at the time of ordering, they had told me that I'd be able to order the vehicle for MSRP plus whatever title tax and licensing fees are, and that was all it would be out the door. There would be no markup, there would be no mandatory features or options or anything put on the car that I didn't want, like extended warranties or, ceramic coating protection plans. Nothing like that. All I wanted was just the car out the door, obviously the way I wanted the car equipped, and done. So that was back in September. I originally ordered the car 16th or 17th of September. I spec'd it out. And then in December, I went to modify my order. The guy that I had originally worked with was no longer there. So I modified my order. I switched from a hybrid to an EcoBoost. And they couldn't update my email address on the order, as I already told you guys. But I asked the guy, I'm like, hey, when you get the VIN number, can you pass it to me so I can, track the vehicle and everything? Never did. Guy was horrible at staying in touch. So I had actually worked directly with Ford marketing. I had gotten them my order information, and they had provided me with the VIN and my tracking information and stuff like that. So I was able to follow along with the car way before my Ford dealer was even letting me know that it was built or coming or anything like that. I had never even heard from my dealer about the building process and shipping process, nothing like that. I was finding this all through Ford's website myself. So once I saw that the truck was built and the vehicle had shipped, I had reached out to the dealership to get in contact with my sales guy and tell him, hey, the car is going to be coming to your store soon, and I just want to make sure that a couple different things when the car comes in. One, I want to make sure that my order is price protected from what I ordered against versus with the increase in MSRP that happened to all Mavericks in February or January. So the price increase was about $500 or $600 depending on how the car was equipped, and it was a bump in base price and I think destination price. So that had gone up like $500 or $600 from when I ordered to, when the car was going to be going to the dealer. I was told by Ford, and there are tons of sites online and reputable Ford sources that say you are price protected. If it's a customer order, you pay the price at which when you ordered it, not when the car comes in. And the dealership said, yeah, sure, that shouldn't be a problem. And the other thing that I wanted to clarify with the dealership, that was when this car comes in, there's not going to be any kind of dealer installed options that I don't want, such as ceramic coatings, protection packages, glass etching, VIN etching, any of that stuff. That it would just, be the truck and title tax registration out the door the way they told me it would be. And he said, yes. I'm like, okay, cool. Sounds like we're in business, right? So the vehicle came in like March 8th or March 9th. And it took them quite a few days to PDI it. It was finally available for me to see and purchase that following Monday on the 13th. So I went to the store, and my impression is going to be that, hey, this should be pretty easy, in and out, done type deal, right? Like, it's a custom ordered vehicle, and I don't have a trade-in. I don't even want to test drive it, right? So I should be in and out of here in no time whatsoever. I get to the store, I look at the vehicle, everything looks good. I go to sit down with the sales guy that I modified my order with a few months ago, and he pulls out a sheet of paper with all the numbers, and the sticker price of this car after the price bump was like $32,400. So common logic would lead you to believe with title fees, registration fees, dealer doc fees, everything like that, plus taxes, this should be around $35,000 to $36,000 out the door. The first number out the door that this dealer shows me is $44,000 and change. We are $8,000 to $9,000 off out the door of what this vehicle should be. And they were doing this in a couple of very sneaky and very manipulative ways. One of the things that they were doing is they were double charging destination. So Destination is already built into your vehicle price, and it's already built into the window sticker, so you shouldn't have to pay a second line item for that. It was like $1,500 extra. They were miscalculating taxes, and in Illinois, vehicle sales tax rate is 7.25%. I saw that number, and it was so far off, and I asked the guy, I'm like, what rate are you guys using to calculate taxes here? He goes, I don't know, but it's right. I'm like, okay. And then they also had a mandatory $700 VIN etching on the glass and body panels and nitrogen fill, which I would later find out isn't even on the car. There's not a single panel or piece of glass that's been etched on this car. There's no nitrogen fill in the tire. They didn't even adjust them. They're grossly overinflated. So anyways, they come in at this number and they're like 8 to 10 grand over what it should be. And immediately I'm putting my guards up, right? I'm telling this guy that I've worked in the automotive industry. I've bought and sold lots of cars. I have dealership experience. I get that you guys are trying to make a buck, right? But don't try to do it on me. Do this on somebody else. You guys signed a document when I was here 7 months ago saying that you would sell me this car at MSRP, plus TTL, and that's it. I also asked about my price protection, and he said, no, everything you're reading online about that is incorrect. I don't know what I told you a couple weeks ago, but I thought, something else. Your situation's different. You have to pay the new sticker price. So they're not going to price protect my order. They're trying to charge me all these extra fees. They're miscalculating taxes. I legitimately thought that I was going to have to walk away from this truck, a vehicle that I ordered and that I waited 7 months for. And ultimately, at the end of the day, the saddest thing about this is that the dealer does have the leverage here, because if I walk, they could just sell this as a retail unit for 5 to 10K over, and they're going to make the least amount of money selling it to me at, MSRP. So I tell the guy, I'm like, why did you guys tell me that you're going to sell it to me at MSRP plus title, tax, registration, and now you're telling me something entirely different? And this guy goes, my manager can't do that price. I'm like, he can't do sticker price? Like what are you talking about? This isn't how this should work. So then he starts playing with, well, if I could get your payment to a certain point, what could I get you to do to sign today? Where would you want your payment to be? And he shows me this sheet of paper with like payments going out to 96 months. And I'm like, dude, it doesn't matter what my payment out the door or what my payment's gonna be. You tell me what the out the door price is gonna be, and that's the only thing that I'm going to negotiate with you on, right? Like, and not even negotiating. I had gone so far as to take in my phone calculator, plug in all the different numbers and show it to him, and I'm like, this is where I need to be out the door. This is what you guys said it was gonna be. And long story short, I had negotiated with this guy back and forth for an hour, and we were still not within where we wanted to be. And this was after all types of, just back and forth, and it was so infuriating, and like, I almost didn't want to do it, but they had the upper hand. I wanted this car. So it had finally gotten to a point, I hate pulling this card, but I pulled this card. I tell the guy, this is funny, I'm like, I don't want to be that guy, but I have a YouTube channel. There are some people that watch my videos, and I will also go on Google, I will go on Dealer Rater, I will go on Yelp, and I will make sure that everybody that I know and myself never sets foot in this store ever again, because you guys are deceptive and you are liars. And you could see his face dropped, and he kind of like panicked. And he left, and he's like, well, what's the out the door price that you want? So I told him the out the door price, again, like what it should have been. He's like, I won't make any promises, but let me see what I could do. So he goes in, he talks to his manager, and he comes back and he's like, I've got good news for you. We can do that number. And the irony in this is, dude, it's not good news. You're telling me what should have been true from the second that I walked in the store. And then on top of that, throughout this whole negotiating process, I had asked 2 times to just see and work with a sales manager. I'm like, dude, no disrespect for you, but like, obviously you can't do what I'm trying to accomplish here. Can I just talk to your sales manager directly myself? And he goes, we don't do things like that at this dealership. I'm like, well, what is that supposed to mean? You don't do things like that at this dealership? How do you guys do business? So again, it was every time back and forth. And I won't lie, they got me here. The price that they had come back with was $500 over what it should have been, because it included some mandatory protection plan, which was like a wheel, tire, PDR, glass protection thing, which he told me was for the life of the loan. And There was no deductible, and I know these plans, and I know usually you can cancel. Sometimes it's a bit of a hassle to cancel, but I know you can cancel. So I said, fine, whatever, because I had planned to cancel it. So now I'm waiting for a signing room. He's already bragging that they've got 3 finance managers in the office tonight, so I shouldn't have to wait long at all. Long story short, I wait over an hour to be put into a finance room at like 5 p.m. on a weeknight, and the dealership's not busy. So they knew that, like, they were mad that I was negotiating and that I had won this transaction, and they didn't want to serve me in a prompt manner. Another point of BS is that this dealership forces you to use outside financing, and he didn't tell me this until 2 weeks before the truck came in. So I was already pre-approved through an outside credit union, and I was forced to use their financing at the store, so that way I'd have to refinance afterwards. And that I don't know how that should be legal, but it is. So I was already forced to have to use their financing. So I go into the finance office, not really caring what rate they're going to offer me or what payment they're going to offer me, because I'm already planning to refinance once I'm done here. And before I sit down to sign anything, a new trick that I've heard of is a flash drive trick, is what it's called, where a dealership will give you a flash drive with the documents that you sign. However, when you go home to look at that flash drive, the numbers can sometimes be different from what you signed, or even worse, the flash drive will be empty. So I jokingly tell the guy, I'm like, you're not going to give me one of these flash drives, are you? And he goes, actually, that's how we do business here, you know, save the environment, man, it's healthy for the trees, ha ha ha. And I'm like, no, I'm not signing anything until you guarantee that you're going to give me a paper copy of everything I sign. So I go through, I sign everything. The rate is horrible. They offer me like 8.09%, which is, I guess, kind of average for today. I think new car average last month was 9.5, and used car average was 13.5, so it's below what average is, but I was putting a good amount of money down. I have really strong credit, and I mean, it was insulting to be offered a rate like that. So whatever, I'm refinancing, I don't care. You know, I sign, I'm done. I'm out of here. This is the worst experience of my life. Like, you guys were deceptive about what you told me with the price. You didn't price protect my order. You forced me into a mandatory protection plan. I had to negotiate to get $8,000 off of where we first were when I walked into the dealership. You were trying to mischarge me taxes. You were trying to double charge me destination fee. You were also trying to say that there was already VIN etching and nitrogen fill done on the car when none of that was done. Like, you are the reason why dealerships get bad names. You are the reason why people don't want to buy Fords. Like, there are so many things wrong with this experience. Nobody should have to go through with a transaction like this. It's crazy to me that something like this can happen on a customer ordered vehicle. Now, like, don't get me wrong. I understand that if you walk in and it's a used car in the lot, or if it's a retail lot, you're subject to a little bit more being at their mercy, because they're going to want to make your money. But on a custom ordered vehicle, like, come on. So I call Ford about this experience, Ford corporate, a couple days after purchase, and you can tell they are mad the way that this happened, because Ford is trying to stop this kind of stuff from happening in dealerships. So Ford is mad. They put a manager on the phone. I didn't even ask for one. They document everything. I'm sure they're going to reach out to the dealer, but at the end of the day, the dealership's not going to do anything, and I don't want them to give me free oil changes or some kind of extended warranty through them. The only way that they can make this right is if they were to cut me a check for the price difference that this order got bumped, which is $480. The warranty, which I tried to end up canceling on my own, was a whole mess in and of itself, because I was lied to in the dealership, I found out. And digging through the 14-page document of that extended service plan that I bought, I had learned that it was only for 12 months. This is a $500 service plan, which I told would cover the cost of the loan, which was 72 months. And this service plan was listed to last 12 months. I try to cancel it directly with the provider. They say, no, you have to go through the dealer to cancel this. We'll send your information there and they'll cancel it. And obviously, I don't even want to set foot in this dealer. I call to inquire about it, and they're like, oh, the guy that handles this isn't in right now. You'll have to try again some other time. So I know right then and there it's going to be impossible to cancel. Pro tip, if you put some of your down payment on a credit card, you can dispute. So what I did is I actually filed a dispute chargeback for the full price of that extended service plan, because it was lying and deceptive that they told me it was going to be for 72 months, and on the paperwork it said it was 12 months. So my credit card company will now dispute with this dealership, and they will go ahead and refund the money back to me once they see that this dealership was lying and deceptive. I don't know if I should give the name of the dealership out right here through this video. I already know that I am going to go through and write reviews on all of these websites. I don't care that they ended up giving me, you know, the fair price, because it's what it should have been all along. It wasn't even a fair price because they still got me with that $500 mandatory service plan, and they didn't price protect my order, which resulted in a $400 or almost $500, $480 price increase there. So, I mean, I'm essentially still $1,000 over what I wanted to pay for the car, but I had no alternative really, right? Like if I walk, I'm out of this truck that I've been waiting on. You can't order one right now because order banks are closed. And if you go walk into a dealership to buy one that's in stock, you're probably gonna pay well over $1,000 over. I've seen $5,000 to $8,000 over on these things. So it's like, they've got you and they know it. Shame on me for ordering at this dealership when I know of 2 other Ford dealerships in the Chicagoland area that have been pretty honest and fair with me in the past. I ordered through this dealer because it was close and convenient to me, and also they had told me that it was going to be MSRP plus title, tax, registration, which again, that's all I wanted. And I had this in writing, and they totally disregarded this. They said because that sales guy didn't work here, that didn't count, everything like that. But I just want to warn you guys that there are horrible dealers out there, and they will take advantage of you. The most sad thing about all of this that my wife pointed out was, think about how many people that they take advantage of that don't even know, right? Like, who's gonna know if you're not a car person or you're not really into like vehicle buying, that you're being mischarged taxes, that you're being mischarged on the destination fee? Like, a lot of regular people would never know, and you're just gonna pay that. The shock that I experienced when my out the door price was almost $10,000 higher when it should have been, crazy, absolutely crazy. I'll probably make a part 2 of this video because there's so much that went into this experience and just to make it the worst dealership experience ever. But I will never go back here for warranty work. I will never go back here for looking at a car. I will never go back here for service. You have lost a customer for life, and I'm going to make sure that you lose other customers for life, because nobody should have to go through what I went through. It's absolutely inexcusable, and you picked the wrong person to do this to. So I'm sorry that I had to go through with this, and I want to make sure that nobody else goes through with it. Sorry for the little bit of tirade and rant there. I just wanted to get this out there in the open while it's still fresh in my head. We're a week removed from the buying experience, but that's going to be all for this video. I will catch you guys in the next one. Have a great day, and do not get scammed out there when buying your Ford Maverick.